America's financial alarm is going off, and if you aren't ready, you're going to be left behind like millions of others. Today, I'm going to tell you not just how you can make it out, but how you can actually get ahead. It's no secret we all have felt the weight of inflation in recent years. You can't even go to the store anymore without your bank account needing an Advil. The truth is that goods cost significantly more and your paycheck stretches about as much as dry Play-Doh. And you're not imagining it. This is the truth we all are facing. Today, I'll explain simply what's going on as well as give you 6 real habits you can start this week to protect yourself from what's to come. As we already mentioned, inflation is real, and it feels like the Fed is struggling to balance their own checkbook, let alone all of America's. On top of that, many stocks in today's tech-heavy market are overvalued and actually due for a correction. That mix can create a messy market, even a full-blown financial crisis, all of which seems like a financial plague that's just waiting to cough all over your wallet. However, the cure is very easy. It's smart financial habits that protect yourself and your money like the ones we're about to go over today. Before we start, it's extremely important to really know what 3 forces are at work right now in the markets that truly matter. The first, which we've already talked about, is going to be inflation. This is when prices go up, but your cash buys less. This is why your $40 8 years ago could buy you the brand new Call of Duty game, and now that $40 barely covers the cost of the newest Battle Pass. The second is Fed rate hikes. What this is interest rates go up to fight inflation, which in turn make loans more expensive. Now, don't ask me about the irony of this, just know that the people in charge say it makes sense, and most people seem to play along because they don't understand enough to question it. Anyway, there are many pros and cons to this in various markets, but we'll save that for another video. All you need to know is that this seems to be an ongoing issue that doesn't appear to be stopping or making sense really anytime soon. The third force at work is high market valuations. This means stocks have run up a lot in price, which is a good thing, but this also means that they can drop just as fast, but usually a whole lot faster when things go wrong. And if you put all these together, the risk of a market correction, or even worse, a crash, goes so far up in probability that SpaceX gets jealous. Now, I know what you're probably thinking, what does this all mean? And I'll tell you that the reason this matters is because it affects your everyday life. Think rent, groceries, car insurance, all can and will go up. And if you've got debt and barely any savings, you're going to be the most vulnerable when this happens. And while starting can seem pointless to most people due to the little leftover money that they have every month, just know that small early moves make a huge difference and can be the difference in sinking or swimming. Now, a quick pivot point, this is where I want to talk about mindset. And the number one rule when it comes to having a strong financial mindset is going to be to not panic. And rule number 1.5 is going to be practical. Just remember, we're trying to build resilience. We're not trying to predict the exact bottom of the market or time whenever everything is going to crash and burn. The truth is, no one knows if or when this will happen. So constantly sitting on your mattress full of cash with your tinfoil hat on can actually do more harm than good in the long run. Just know, markets are going to have some correction, and that's okay. There are going to be down days, but historically, the market makes a positive return of over about 10% for the year. The reason it's so important to not let your emotions control you in a market downturn and to panic sell is because most people actually lose more money trying to time the market and selling when prices are high and buying when prices are low than they would have made if they just left their money alone and became a long-term investor. Usually throughout the year, there are only 5 major upside days in the market that truly make the most movement and matter. And if you were to sell everything and liquidate your account because you saw your stocks went down by 2 or 4%, the very next day, they could go up by 15% and you would miss out on it. This is a very easy way to lose everything that you have in the market and to miss out on the enormous upside. Now let's go over the 6 financial habits that you need to know if you plan on being successful through all of this in the future. Number 1 is going to be to establish an emergency fund. Your goal should be to keep between 3 to 6 months of living expenses aside. This is going to be your safety net to ensure you don't fall all the way to the bottom if the rug gets swept out from under you. Many people park this cash in a high yield savings or a short-term account that gives them an easy access to the money while making interest and ensuring no risk to these funds. Even $25 a paycheck added into this account will add up over time and could be the difference in your success. this. The hardest part people have with an emergency fund is keeping it an emergency fund. It can be super tempting to want to pull from this account because you want the newest and latest greatest thing that you can't afford at the time. It can be super easy to look at your bank account and see this excess cash fund sitting there and thinking that you're really not going to need it anytime soon and that you can always add to it or fix it later. However, it's extremely important that you keep this for emergencies only. This means if your car breaks down and has an expensive fix repair, or if you have an emergency medical need or injury, you would use this fund to cover your hospital and your care bills. However, if you think that it's going to be okay to use this to buy an $8 Starbucks coffee every week, you're going to slowly see this account dwindle down, and when you really need to fall back and rely on it, you're not going to have enough money to be able to use it for what its intended purpose was originally. Now, number 2 is going to be to attack high interest debt. Credit cards and high interest loans destroy your money's hopes and dreams when rates climb. A simple way to work this down quickly is to pay more than the minimum if you're able to every month. This will bring that balance down fast and prevent you from accruing more added interest the longer you wait to get that loan paid off. This can typically be the step that takes the longest and is the biggest time commitment, but it can also be the most rewarding and gratifying to know that you are completely debt-free. This is also the easiest way to drive up your income because you now have more of your money back in your pocket every month that you don't have to allocate to loans or expenses. And this step actually bleeds into number 3, which is going to be to reduce leverage. Now, leverage is going to be borrowed money, think loans, however, used for something like an appreciating asset. And while these loans can help many people get ahead, such as buying real estate, it can also magnify losses in times of downturn. If you're buying property or investing with loans, it is extremely important that you be conservative with your numbers. You can do this by locking in fixed rates where you can while they're doable. Don't assume rent or income will always go up or that you will have a buyer jumping with joy when you need them. The truth is that when the bad happens, it happens quickly. And if you get stuck with a large amount of leverage, this once helpful tool can become devastating to your finances. The 4th step is going to be to diversify income. One paycheck is one failure away from flatlining. A smart and simple way to have some job security is to add a low-effort side hustle. This is where many people get into freelancing, such as YouTube, or selling a skill such as woodworking. The trick here is to pick something you enjoy doing so it doesn't seem like work. One thing I recently got into was drone videography, and that pretty consistently brought me in about $250 per job. It was a great way to get out of my comfort zone and capture beautiful sceneries and events for people, all while adding to my normal income. Find something that you're comfortable doing and that you're willing to give your time up for. This can be an extremely rewarding step by boosting your income. Step number 5 is to choose quality over trends or hype. If you're already investing and have stocks, it's important that you don't ride the wildest, newest thing just because it's trending or you saw TikTok saying it's going to the moon. The trick with smart investments is to look for companies with a steady cash flow, strong balance sheet, and dividends. Basically, just do your homework on what you're investing in to make sure it's a good buy for your specific goals and you'll be okay. It's also always a good idea to reduce exposure to speculative bets, as this is where your most risk is going to be. The last tip for success is going to be to hold some dry powder on the side. Now, this is different than your emergency fund and should only be done with excess cash that you don't need to be allocated anywhere else. It is extremely important that you get your emergency fund set up before you even begin to consider this step. The reason this is because this step means setting aside some cash or short-term safe asset so you're ready to scoop up deals when the market drops. And this actually gives you the option to buy good stocks in a crisis. Think Black Friday sales, but for entire companies themselves. This is actually how the rich and wealthy get ahead in times of downturn. While people are panic selling for a loss, they're there to scoop up the good deals and make money. A few quick things to remember is don't be emotional with your investments. This leads to panic selling, which more times than not locks in losses and discourages investors. Also, don't go all in on hype. Stay away from the latest and greatest fart coin and meme stocks that are trending on social media. These can be the fastest way to lose money rather than making it. Now, before I end this video, I wanted to give you some warning signs you can watch out for to know where the market health is at this time. First, you're going to want to pay attention to big spikes in unemployment by major companies. This is usually a good sign that the market isn't doing too hot. Second, watch for banks having trouble or credit drying up. Lastly, be cautious of a sudden fast crash and if it happens across many sectors. If you notice a cluster, be conservative and tighten your plan until signs of a rebound come around. Just remember that crisis equals risk plus opportunity. If you're protected, dips become buying chances. You don't need to find the exact bottom, but if you maintain composure of your emotions and funds, you can buy slowly and think long term, which will put you out on top of 99% of people in the turnaround cycle. Now, before you go, if this video helped you to understand how you can be prepared to get ahead in market turmoil, make sure you subscribe so you can stay ahead in your weekly simple finance tips. Also, like the video so you can push it on someone else's feed who might need it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.